Let's see how this do. Hey, there we go. I'm also streaming on TikTok. Oh yeah. All right. So here's what I feel like I'm doing right now. Because part of the reason why, like, if we just look out in the world today, all around the world, I don't know how you view the world, but that's always interesting when we get in a room together and we start looking at how we view the world and how we view ourselves, because then that dictates how we live our lives. So I always think very global and I always think very collective, right? So when I say when you look out at the world, I mean you have some idea of what's going on in France or Middle East, Korea, China, Indonesia, Hawaii, right? You're looking out at the world, right? Obviously the United States because you're here, right? Canada, Africa. And you don't know everything that's going on, but you have some idea because you pay attention. And um, we see that non-black voices have a lot of clout. Yes or no? Hey, Rish, right? We see non-black voices have a lot of clout, right? The rest of it is wanted 100. I just got a message from somebody on Facebook, and it just came through on my phone. Ah, so, and I'm gonna talk about this kind of like, the bigger picture of it, and then I'm gonna bring it down because maybe it'll help. Powerful black woman on the world stage. How does that feel? When you envision, what comes to mind when I say that? Powerful black messenger, man or woman, really, on the world stage. How does that feel? What comes to mind? What comes to mind? If you're watching this as a replay, put it in the chat. Well, we're powerful, and then it's like, well, what does powerful mean, right? Because we live in, regardless of how much men say that the world is against them today, everybody's deep mind still is very masculine. Okay, everybody still thinks through a male lens. That's why as soon as you say power, people get all because they're thinking about tyrannical power. They're thinking about controlling, dominant over, stealing resources, causing war, creating violence. That's why when you say power, most people immediately clinch because they see power that way. They do not immediately think feminine power. They don't immediately think soft power. They don't immediately think the power that comes with togetherness. They don't, because everybody's mind has been saturated with male dominance for fucking centuries. Okay? So, you know, look at any country, look at, right? Um, so when I say power, to be clear, I'm talking about feminine power. Okay? I'm talking about the power that comes from leaning back. I'm talking about the power that comes from wholly trusting the unknown. The masculine would never trust the unknown. Never. It needs data, it needs facts, it needs statistics, it needs number. It needs to be told what to do. It needs to be told what to do. That's why men, they talk about having the one alpha male that tells all the other males what to do. Right? Because most men need to be told what to do. They're not, like I said yesterday, dick doesn't equal leader. How women think that men are leaders. No, the majority of them are not just leaders. They have to be told what to do. That's why most of them defer to the Bible because they don't know what to do with themselves outside of the Bible's telling them what to do. Okay? Women don't need the Bible. We are built to exist in the unknown of it all. And our true power comes from trusting that. Now, how this connects with being a public facing messenger, black woman on the world stage, because that's the whole purpose of today, a part of it. You have a message to bring forth. Like you're truly a pioneer, right? Even if your topic is about wealth consciousness, even though it fits inside of that generic topic, money, wealth, what you want to talk about will be signature. And then the deeper you would go into it, and this is where we start getting into unknown territory, where I'm excited to go and where I live, like personally, and shoot from is the place that lives deep power that lives inside of the original woman. That okay, great. So so now I'm gonna let the chaos kind of reign here a bit because it I feel it. And so yeah, I'm gonna use blowjobs as an example. I think that's a relatable example. So I think all of us here have given a blowjob before, right? And there's a place when you're given a blowjob where when the dick goes far enough, you gag, right? And for most women, we pull it out when the gag, right? I want to relate to that. I'm using that as an analogy to make a point here about when it gets tough. Like as you listen to me right now, and I say things like black woman, black man, world stage, power, messenger, right? Like a real leader on the world stage, right? Even if that's growing a massive coaching business or some kind of community that really you put some real power into it. I'm talking about some real power, okay? Which is what we could do when the right two or more people get together. I'm excited about that. And so when it gets, as you listen to me now, and I think you think about power, you think about visibility, you think about being true, you think about saying shit that ain't never been said, you think about letting go of your fear, everything that you do to keep yourself inside of your identity because it feels safe and familiar. And you don't want to ruin your reputation, and you don't want to look like you don't know what you're talking about, and you don't want to look like a fool, and you don't want people to judge you. When you do the work over here in my company where all that starts to dissolve and you really start showing up powerfully, where you feel so safe in the unknown, it carries you. This is an elevated way of being, by the way. It's as Iris and I were talking about yesterday, is an exalted place. And for a black woman, that feels so risky. It feels like a kind of death because, as a black woman, you need to have your shit together. And black women are like this. And so many of us have been, especially in close proximity to males, and males always want us to be attached to them. So they will directly or indirectly say shit to make sure you stay inside of a frame that they feel like they can be connected to, that you won't leave them, or whatever is the reason. Okay. And so a lot of black women are still so trying to stay inside of a boring frame. They're very bored with their existence, even though they live there, right? Because the risk of soft power, the risk of being exalted and carried through the unknown, like sucking dick and it starts to gag and you immediately want to pull it out. That's where most of us live, right? We live in this like trepidation, staying right around the perimeter. We know we have a message. We know we have power. We know to some degree who we are, but we're afraid to go all the way into full standing on the world stage, whatever that looks like for the individual, right? And that could look any number of ways. Maybe you don't have, uh, you know, desire to be, you know, multi-million dollar transformational company or some kind of TEDx speaker, or maybe you don't have that going on, but you do want to be vocal in your content and talk about things that aren't you feel like people aren't talking about. Nobody's going to listen to you. You're going to be judged, like that kind of shit. And so the counterintuitive thing, so I'm saying that just to give voice because I know that's where a lot of us live. We're bored with our realities, but we hang out there all the time. And most of us are alone or we're in relationships where we don't thrive, that at least it's familiar. Um, at least I don't have to worry about, whatever the thing that one could be worried about in that situation. What? Fine. I just got a flag from the damn thing. Fine, fine, fine. And so the counterintuitive effect is that when you go, there's a place when you go beyond the all the fear and the where it's a smooth, and that's where I talked about being held in the unknown. It's mm, let's talk about being held in the unknown. Let's talk about being held in the unknown. This is wow. So I did a video, when was that? A week or two ago, titled Dope Ass Shit. It's on TikTok right now. Dope Ass Shit. And it was a short, I don't know, 45-second clip where I talked about wanting to do dope ass shit with dope ass people, where we having dope ass sex in penthouses. We are traveling around the world. We have help all around. We are communicating with each other verbally and telepathically. And we're so tuned in and we're so exalted, we're so connected, and we do all this together. And we're constantly thinking about the collective and doing work that is in service to the collective. And how we're able to do that is one, because we're together, two, we're in exalted states, and three, we are totally being carried by the unknown. Now, in order to do that, this is a skill. These are skills, these don't come naturally. Well, they do. Okay, I retract what I just said. They come naturally until we start getting poisoned by living here on Earth. Okay, because your children very much trust the unknown, don't they? So we learn by being raised by parents that are scared. They teach us to be scared. Our parents who live sick lives, parents who live fear-based, scarce lives. We pick it up vibrationally by being raised around those parents, and then you know we forget who we are, and we end up being scared adults and scarce thinking adults. However, the video that I did was really speaking to the place where I live, and I want other people to live here with me. And the only way that because what I described, it's not fantasy. I think a lot of people think if your current reality is one of boredom and you haven't made any of your dreams come true, I can see how you could think that. Like if you, I mean, real big dreams. I mean, things that are completely outside of what you are familiar with, and that are outside of what's normal for humanity. Like if you've done things like get married, had kids, bought a home, that's normal, right? Everybody's doing that or has done that, or that's kind of like normal. But when you want to do something like buy a house in another country or live in another country or, you know, um, even if like financially, like you were raised poor and now you want to do $500,000 years. Um, but something that requires such tremendous change on the inside so that you can, you know, create the external result. And you've done things like that a few times in your life. When I talk, you can really be like, yeah, right. Because otherwise, when I talk, it sounds like fantasy, hyperbole, and you're made to bring fantasies into your real life. Fantasies don't need to stay in a Disney movie or in a novel or in a book. You can make, not even make, but you can cause fantasies to come to life. And so, uh, feminine power for a Black woman, especially who's public facing, okay, feminine power is so wow. So again, wordless. I've said this before. It's wordless, but I'm going to put words to it. Okay. Uh, Question: where do you currently feel warm and safe? Where do you currently feel warm and safe, like physically? Like, is it in your bedroom? Is it at your mom's house? Is it, you know, where you feel safe and covered and zero worries and all good? That is what being held by feminine power feels like. See, when we start having it being fear based in our mind, is because what we're doing is we're anticipating people's reaction to us existing in soft power. That's where the anxiety comes and the what are people going to think and the but the actual existence in soft power feels like the place where you have zero worries, where you know you're held. You're not hoping, you're not praying for guidance, you're not going to the ancestors asking for answers. You're not like all the things that we do because we're looking for peace and comfort and the challenge I found for myself to get here, and then with women who I'm working with now, is that the Black women being in real power is so scarce. It's very scarce. It's very scarce. That how are people going to react? See, right now it's very safe to be a angry Black woman. It's very safe to be, and there's nothing wrong with these, by the way. I just want to paint a picture. It's very safe to be a mother. It's safe to be tired and struggling. It's safe to be mad at the government. It's safe to be mad at men, talking about decentering men. Like, it's safe to be all of these things right now. It's safe to be talking about these kids, girl, these kids. It's safe to uh, be showing you an outfit I got off a TikTok shop. It's safe to be traveling somewhere and showing you I'm getting on the plane and my Airbnb. Um, it's safe to be getting a sugar daddy, looking for a husband or um, sprinkle, sprinkle. Um, right? You see what I mean, right? All these are all safe. Like, no one is concerned about being these things because they're widely talked about. It's widely accepted. There's lots of conversation about it. But soft power, and when I say soft, because everybody's so soft girl era, that's another thing that's safe to be soft girl era. But soft power, you actually don't even reach it until you dissolve all the layers that's in the way to you getting there. So, all the safe versions that I just described, all the safe versions of being Black, you would have to dissolve all of that to actually reach your soft power. The parts of you that don't want to look like a fool, the parts of you that your go to, like a lot of us, our go to emotion is where we feel safe. Like, you feel sad all the time because it actually feels safer to you to be sad. You feel angry or frustrated because it feels safer for you to, right? This may or may not be true for you. I'm saying it's a possibility. What I'm saying is anything that gets in the way of you trusting the unknown. And this is something you don't find out until you start submitting to the unknown of you. And when you can live there, truly live there, okay, that means you can be surrounded by, it's sort of like being able to sit still inside of a tornado and feel completely cared for, completely supported. It's powerful. So then why that matters is that when I talked about us doing dope ass shit, right? Where there's help all around, where we're traveling all over the world together, we're engaged in collective transformational projects together that serve the world, right? We're hosting retreats around the world. We are all the wonderful things that we're doing. As powerful melanated beings actually doing that, that's going to be big energy. It's going to be big energy. And to be able to really be with big energy, You got to be and move steadily, right? Hire people, have team, have organization, and to have all the pieces that click that make everything go. There's a way that we need to be rested in this power. We need to be totally trusting of all the big energy versus what most of us do. We either push power away, okay, or for a lot of us, we keep it down, right? No. And what we do is we push it down and then we pack on the bored characters that we walk around in. So we keep the real power down and then we pack on the professional black woman, the mother, the wife, the whatever you're doing on TikTok, content creator, whatever you're doing. Because that, although it feels safer because it's familiar, it's predictable, you're bored with it. You don't get to know who you are with it. You don't get held in that power that propels you to do these powerful things. Is this making sense? Another place is this is real work. The work includes engaging in humiliating, ego defying work, looking at yourself honestly and admitting things, and, a lot more. And what drives all this is desire, really, because most of us are just, it's just easier to just struggle for a lot of people. It's just, believe me, everything that you really want, you have it right now. So when you hear people talk about like complaining about this and that, they like that too. They like that. They like the things that they complain about, etc. So it's so important for us to remember that when we are looking at why we move and don't move, what we move toward and don't, and remembering that true desire. Yeah, okay. We started talking. True desire is a heat seeking missile, it will find a way. True desire, not like I want a house or like anything you want that's to fill, like a woman said on here. Um, I want a family. She said, I want a family, husband. She said, power couple vibes, that whole thing. And that's not her most want thing. She wants that to feel what she felt like she didn't have. So that's not desire. Desire is a heat seeking missile, it finds a way. And it exists in the feminine of when I talked about being carried, right? It will pull you beyond your ego, it will pull you beyond your fear. Thank you for following. Is that Linda? Alita? Wow. Desire. I wish Iris was here. Excuse me. So I want to talk about Women Gods Gather. How much? Okay. What time is it? So would you like to come engage in some powerful transformational work with me in person? You can do so in Atlanta. I'm going to be in Atlanta March 16th, 17th, and 23rd. You can see details about it with the link in my bio. And so it's an opportunity to really start to rest into your soft power and do some really hot alchemical work. Like if you know that you have a power that you've yet to touch, you don't really know how to touch it, and you want to touch it. and really strengthen your connection with other women who care about their power. And this is inclusive of your pussy. This includes pussy work. We're doing this in Atlanta, Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th. Sunday, both days are all about communion. Sunday there's brunch and breath work. Saturday we're at the loft all day. It's in a loft in Little Five Points in Atlanta, and we're looking forward to us taking off our whatever we choose to take off, or whatever you stay fully clothed, uh, and us sitting and engaging in some truth telling. Just really witnessing each other with tenderness and feeling ourselves and feeling each other and reaching that spot that I've been talking about here today, where we are completely held. And what happens in that space where we're communicating telepathically in the group a lot. And in that, there's permission given, it starts pinging. It's a permission that pings through the room. And things that are unconscious to you, they know. It knows that it can come up to be cleared so that it no longer grips you from the bottom. So how this matters is if you're wanting to take action somewhere and you're struggling to take action, if you keep saying that you're procrastinating, you maybe you start and don't finish things. The list goes on and on. And you know that there's, man, the words throw caution to the wind come to mind. I'm telling you, in 2017, when I was looking for a Black woman who was on the world stage and powerful and raw and sensual, like I was really looking. I was just like, where are the Black women who aren't basic ass typical Black women? Like, where are the Black women like you Black, but you not what Black women are supposed to be? You're true. You're really connected to the power. And if I would have saw a me back then, man, I'd have been beaten down a dough. And in some ways, that's what I'm here for too. Yeah, the ones who run the world got it good, man. They don't have to worry about nothing. So so the 23rd of March is communion, yes, but also very much for those of us who uh, are entrepreneurs, business owners, and we're looking to expand our capacity for more money, more visibility, all the attention that comes with visibility, money, team, and even willingness. Like there's a true energetic willingness when it comes to being visible on the world stage with a message as an authority. And so we're going to be looking at marketing that's working, looking at putting together a strategy for you to employ, a new strategy that you will be able to have capacity to create and act on based on the alchemical work we'll be doing on Saturday the 23rd. And we're doing alchemical work all 3 days. I'm just saying Saturday the 23rd is more so for business owners and entrepreneurs who already have been lucrative and are planning to be more lucrative for 2024 and beyond, frankly. So our first we're what, 2 weeks and 4 days away? We're 2 weeks and 4 days away. Oh, I just realized I forgot to edit something. I'll get to it. All right, let's see. I think I'm gonna go now. Yeah. You all take good care of yourselves. Hey, YouTube. It's been a while.